Well, here we are, Techshed 24, and today I want to introduce you to a company that's a founding member of Techshed, decided to exhibit here at the waterfront at Workshop 17, and the company is Armata. So tell us about Armata. I am not from the technology world, so what does Armata stand for and what does it do?
So what Armata stands for is quite interesting. From the CI generation, we played around with a few names and we came up with Armata. For those in the know, Armata is actually a Russian battle tank. So
okay, all right. So you're firmly in the BRICS camp.
Unfortunately, no. So the idea was we wanted something that would show how we had a defense capability and how we could attack back on hackers. Ironically, a lot of hackers are Russian.
Okay, so it makes sense. It's a security industry. It has relevance to who might attack in terms of cybersecurity.
Correct. The main focus within the business is around cybersecurity. So we do a lot of operational cybersecurity monitoring as well as deploying of technologies.
Okay.
We don't have our own proprietary software. We're normally using third-party vendors like SentinelOne, Mimecast, etc.
Okay.
We also have a big consultancy arm, which I'm heading up, right? And the intention of the consultancy is to look at a business holistically and say, based on your industry, the company itself, the size of the company, where are the key areas you need to focus your cybersecurity on?
Okay.
Right? Traditionally, guys would go in and say, oh, you need a firewall.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, literally everywhere you go, and I obviously work with Ronald Bartels at Fusion SD-WAN, and Ronald's been the case in point, and I've overheard many of his conversations where people think security, they think firewall.
Correct.
Straight away, I got a firewall, and the conversation literally stops there. And then Ronald says, yes, but who's looking after the firewall? Is it updated? So I've learned all of that as a finance person. So you're actually taking one step further in terms of not firewall, but firewall in addition to.
Correct. So I mean, if you think about it, I think COVID was probably one of the biggest reasons for this. But 60% of our business traditionally came from the firewall space. And we see now a lot more hybrid workforces, people working from home. I think what's great from an SD-WAN perspective is you still need those networks, right? Companies that got multi-site branches or are looking for always-on connectivity need SD-WAN.
Yes.
The security aspect, though, is no longer valid because why put a firewall in an office when your users are working from a home or remotely or on the road?
Yes.
So we basically putting a security overlay on top of the SD-WAN, utilizing more SASE or ZTNA.
Yes.
So we can use whatever network connectivity there is, but we add in that layer of protection over it.
Okay, so you would essentially then have creating, and I'm just asking here, a single point of exit, essentially that's covered by security in a hybrid model?
Yeah, it's not even a single point anymore. I think if you look at SD-WAN, there's two thoughts. There's SD-WAN secure and there's traditional SD-WAN. Traditional SD-WAN, a lot of the times, you still have to do a breakout through the DC because you want to go through that firewall for security. Secure SD-WAN has the concept of being able to break out anywhere because that device is providing it has a level of security that allows the breakout.
Yes.
What we're saying is we actually endpoint to endpoint or endpoint to cloud, protecting the environment. So no matter what network you're on, whether you're in an office, whether you're sitting at home on fiber, whether you're on the road on 5G, whatever it is, you're always protected.
Okay.
You can then create a point-to-point connection between the end user host and the cloud environment or the DC, but utilizing whatever network connectivity options there are.
Okay, I think you probably come into the fore with people working remotely, people working in different locations, people going to public spaces, people.
Correct.
Because that's really where the threats really happen, right? It's not necessarily in the cozy office where people are no longer there. So a question I have for you, for example, Fusion SD-WAN, we are essentially ISP agnostic, firewall agnostic. I'm assuming your technology and Fusion SD-WAN can easily work together and in a network scenario.
100%. I mean, if you think about it from the perspective of some of the ZTNA technologies we have, like UpGate, all right, it doesn't care what the firewall is, it doesn't care what the WAN is. It's literally, you can put a virtual gateway down at any point you need access to, and it allows an always-on ZTNA connection in there.
Okay.
So again, the network that you're going across is irrelevant. You obviously want something like Fusion there to create redundancy on the environment, to create stability and speed. But the actual security aspect then is still taken from that endpoint.
Now, I've been a part of some of Ronald's conversations, and I've never understood it, but you made me understand it now, is that he often said to customers, in terms of scale and efficiency, you could put a central firewall, central point of exit and all of that. But he's also in the same conversation. However, if you want the firewall at the edge in a Fusion device in the edge, you can have that too. So essentially, we are quite flexible. Your technology is quite flexible. How did you find the event yesterday, the inaugural Techshed networking event? Because you're one of the brave companies that joined us, and I think it was very.
I thought it was quite successful. I mean, if you think about the big events that are going on concurrently with us as well, there was quite a lot of nice overflow that joined us. We've had a few events in Cape Town recently where there's been zero attendance, so it was nice to see how many people actually were here. It was nice to see the interaction amongst the people as well. It wasn't as siloed as I thought it would be, because obviously we would have invited different groups of people, but I think everybody that got there kind of mingled. It was also nice to see people that I haven't seen in like 20 years.
I could see that. I mean, one of the things I struck yesterday was everybody literally was milling around talking to people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something unique. You often try and do a networking event and people sit around and you get groups of people in different places and nobody really interacts or moves around. I think we saw a lot of that yesterday. In closing, and a customer out there is thinking about your company and security, what is the difference or value add, or what is your pitch in terms of being different to everybody else in the security space and what you offer?
It's an interesting question. I think the key focus point for us is, like I was saying, looking at the cybersecurity aspect holistically, being able to take the consulting and matching it up to either some form of standard or some compliance, whatever the customer's needs are.
Okay.
And then, budget related sort of guidance as to what product sets would suit them the best. We've also been doing a lot of partnerships with other companies in the third-party risk mitigation space, as well as our relationship with cyber insurers. So we obviously mitigating risk to the insurer, and the benefit obviously is cheaper policies and stuff as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so it creates lead generation, it creates a holistic relationship. We're doing a lot of cyber resilience as well, so it's not just protect your environment, but when you have an attack, most people think, I want to try and block the attack as much as possible. But there's always a 1% chance of the attack happening. So what we're also focusing on is reducing the actual risk when you do have an attack, right?
The impact. So the impact is what you focus on. And I guess from your team, you give it's more personal. You're talking to people rather than being a number in a large organization that doesn't focus on you. You guys probably a little bit different, like us at Fusion. Essentially, every customer is important. So anyway, if you're out there, come to Techshed and come and join us and talk security with Armata.
Thank you. Good to see you guys.